Whether you don't huddle, it still comes down to just the execution.
And here on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio, Harry Douglas in for Key and J today. No Huddle is brought to you by Omega Accounting Solutions. To schedule your free ERC consultation, call 800-704-2000 or visit OmegaTaxCredits.com.
Eagles at Giants.
So the Eagles, they clinched a playoff berth. They blew out my Giants, and I figured they'd pull away late, but they pulled away early.
Sound more excited, Max. Sound more excited about the Eagles. I understand it's your Giants.
I'm never going to be excited about the Eagles or the Cowboys or the Commanders. Calm down. Jalen Hurts improved his MVP credentials, recording 294 total yards and 3 scores. It was his 11th game with multiple touchdowns. That's tied for the most in the NFL in 2022. Hurts is now the betting favorite for the first time this season to win MVP, according to Caesar Sportsbook. He is at minus 110. Mahomes, who is better than Hurts and is having a better season, it says it right here.
You're out of your mind right
is now second at plus 200, and then Joe Burrow plus 500. Here is the Eagles running back, Miles Sanders, very talented back, Miles Sanders, at the post-game presser.
Sky's the limit. As long as we can control, we can control, and not beat ourselves up. And I think we had a pretty clean game and all aspects of the ball. Like I said, nobody can beat us. I don't think. Just all axes of the ball. I think special teams, defense, and offense. As long as we keep doing what we're doing at a high level, I don't think anybody can compete with us.
All right, we'll get into MVP later, Harry. Are the Eagles the best team in the NFL?
Yeah, they are. When I look at this team, man, you talk about the defensive side of the ball, end up getting 7 sacks yesterday against the New York Giants. Brandon Graham had 3, Fletcher Cox, Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat. The way this team is built, you talk about offensive line, defensive line, in the trenches, that's how you win football games. That's how you win a Super Bowl. That's how they won their first Super Bowl, or the Super Bowl they just recently got with Doug Peterson.
2017.
Yeah, 2017. Jalen Hurts, in the way he's playing right now, I think he's playing the best football from the quarterback position because, number one, he takes care of the football. He's beating you from the pocket, and he's beating you through the run game. Their design run game and the way Shane Steichen has been able to draw things up for Jalen Hurts in those regards has been outstanding, on top of having the receivers in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And I got to mention now, Dallas Goedert hasn't been playing these last few games. He's going to be coming back for this football team. You lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and I thought it was going to be a drop-off at the safety position. Nope. They just plugged somebody else in that came off the streets, and he's balling out as well.
Yeah, I mean, even last night's game, why did the Chargers really win when you get peeled all the way? That defense, all the replacements in the secondary were playing out of their minds from the very beginning of the game. And the Eagles have some depth like that, it appears. Look, there were 2 teams, one in the NFC, one in the AFC, where if whoever has the best roster winds up in the Super Bowl, it would be Eagles-Bills.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the preseason, you could look and say, Eagles are the most stacked team, the team with the fewest weaknesses in the NFC, Bills in the AFC. Now, the Bills have lost 3 games. Eagles have lost 1. Like, the Eagles are the one between those 2 teams. And if you had to say who was better, you'd probably give the nod to the Bills, the way their defense played last year, the way Josh Allen played last year. We didn't know if Jalen Hurts would be this, even with A.J. Brown. He had to show this. And the Bills still might wind up in the Super Bowl. The Eagles are waxing teams right now. All right, what's next?
Texans at Cowboys.
Cowboys scored late to avoid a major upset. They were lucky. Beat the Texans 27-23. Crucial 4th down stop and a Zeke Elliott TD helped the Cowboys come back to beat the Texans. Dak Prescott directed a 98-yard drive. Ezekiel Elliott's short touchdown run with 41 seconds remaining. Dak was 24 of 39 for 284 yards with a TD and 2 interceptions. PU. And they tried to give that game away at the end, Harry. You turned the ball over. All right, here's Dak Prescott after the game.
I'm damn sure not a fan of that. I think y'all guys know that. It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. If you go back and all of them, yeah, some were miscommunication in the past games. First one, try to fit it in too tight of a try to get a hand on it, ball pops up in the air. The second one, my arm got hit. Yeah, unfortunately, I've got to find a way to take better care of the ball. But yeah, damn right, it's frustrating.
All right, he's talking about the interception. Suddenly picks are an issue in Dallas.
Yeah.
What do you think, Harry? Are they winning in spite of Dak right now?
I think they are because you have lapses when Dak Prescott doesn't look like a good quarterback, but then you have moments like at your 2-yard line, you need a drive to go down and win a football game, and he's delivering throws and making every throw on the football field. I do believe that defense is so good that they are winning in spite of Dak Prescott. We've seen them win with Cooper Rush, so I'm going to go yes there.
You know, he doesn't give you the feeling, Dak Prescott, but I look at what actually happens, not at like how they sound. I always thought Tony Romo was a hot dog quarterback, like in the sense that good or bad, it was going to be about him at the end of the game.
Yeah.
What was that game where he couldn't hold on to the snap, and so he had to run it in, Romo, right?
Yep.
Like stuff like that. Now he's the hero, or he gets stopped. He's the goal, but it's going to be about him. There's something about Dak. Maybe it's just the position of being the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. There's so much that comes with it.
It's pressure,
It
man.
just feels like it's going to come down to him in the end, good or bad. All right, we are running the no huddle on Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max. What's next?
Vikings at Lions.
So Jared Goff helps the surging Detroit Lions stun the division-leading Vikings 34-23, even though I thought, and I think a lot of people picked the Lions in this situation. They ain't going to lose every close game. Vikings ain't going to win every one. Goff was 27 of 39 for 330 yards and 3 TDs. The Lions are now 6-7, quiet as kept. They've won 5 of 6. It's their best stretch since their last postseason appearance in 2016. They've scored 25-plus points in 5 straight games for the first time since 1954. Here is the Lions quarterback, the former number 1 overall pick of the Los Angeles Rams, Super Bowl appearing, 2-time Pro Bowl making Jared Goff after the game.
Things sucked early on, obviously, and who knows how long that could have lasted, right? But trusted ourselves, trusted the work we put in, trusted Dan, trusted the coaching staff, and we're almost back to 500 now. And who would have thought that at 1-6? It would have been a long way to go. But with that being said, we're 6-7, and the reality is we still have to win quite a few games to get into the playoffs. I'm sure we're doing a lot of good things right now, but we've got 4 more, and if we can win all of them, sure we have a great chance. But we'll see how it goes.
Have the Lions become the team that no one wants to play?
100%. That team last year in the National Football League was the San Francisco 49ers as they were surging. I think right now it's the Lions. And they kind of remind me of the team the Minnesota Vikings were last year because they lost a few games early in the year closely. And now you see the Minnesota Vikings, they're winning those games this year. When I look at this Lions team, offensively, Jared Goff has been phenomenal at home. You look at these wide receivers, DJ Shark yesterday, St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Jamison Williams was able to get a touchdown. The way they play with a moxie. Their head coach going forward with on 4th downs, having the fake punt. This team is scary to play, and actually they should have won 6 of their last 6 games. Remember that game against the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving night, the mixed clock management at the end of that football game? So the Lions are playing some great football right now.
When you hear about biting kneecaps, you're thinking this is going to be a defensive team. They're not working out that way.
The defense has been horrible this year.
Right. It's all offense. But I want to say something about Jared Goff. It was unclear for a while which quarterback would be the best out of that draft class, Goff, Wentz, or Dak. Goff, people forget, was in outskirts of the MVP conversation when they went to the Super Bowl that year through about 2/3 of that season, right? Then Dak came on and Wentz came on like, okay, it's Wentz. And then it looked like Dak. And then Goff dropped out of the conversation. And then he gets traded. And it's kind of like, okay, now Wentz is no good. Dak, are we sure that Dak is going to be remembered as a better quarterback than Jared Goff? Because these guys are still writing their scripts.
Been to a Super Bowl, too.
Dak has won 1 playoff game in his career. Goff has been to a Super Bowl. Goff has been to a couple Pro Bowls. Goff is now with his 2nd franchise, completely different situation, now starting to have success. Dak has been set up love his whole career. Like he's been on nothing but good teams and in one place. I'm just saying, right now, Dak or Goff, I'm taking Dak. I'm not sure that when the whole story is over, it's going to end that way. I don't think it's over yet.
Well, also, you look at the Lions, and a lot of people thinking, okay, the Lions have these draft picks, and they can pick a quarterback. The way Jared Goff is playing at home right now, you're probably second-guessing that and figuring out, you know what, we can use those draft picks towards something else, and you can feel like we have our guy here in Jared Goff.
Goff or Kirk Cousins?
I'm taking Goff.
Me too. What's next?
Browns at Bengals.
Joe Burrow. I ain't taking anyone except Mahomes over this cat. Joe Burrow and the Bengals beat the Browns. First time in his career he's beaten Cleveland. 23-10. That's their 5th straight win, the Cincinnati Bengals. He shook off a sloppy start, Burrow did, to throw 2 TD passes in the win over Cleveland. Joe Burrow finished 18 for 33 for 239 yards, ending a 5-game skid, obviously, as I said, to their in-state Ohio rival.